you're not usually in front of the camera.
No.
You know?
It was very weird for me to be the subject.
Yeah. How's it feel, though? Does it feel...
It's new.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, it's uncomfortable because it's just, I've always wanted to be the spotlight, but I've always given other people the spotlight, so
Right.
actually being a subject, it's just a new feeling. Not saying it's good or bad, it's just a new feeling. Growing pains, of course.
Exactly.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
So we are here at the
palace.
The palace.
The casa.
How's this space, evolved over the years?
Over the years,
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is kind of where I stay and dream.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, this is where I do everything, where I think everything through, make music, make videos, think my ideas through, right? I do everything in here. I spend way too much time in here by myself with so many aspirations and dreams, and this is where I stay to feel comfortable and feel like I can express myself the way I want to without, being out in the world is uncomfortable. So this is kind of where I draft myself and then get out there.
Yeah. That's good. It's like a little home base kind of
thing. It's a home base. It's like I feel comfortable to be myself here, and then I can go out in the real world and take what I've learned by being so insular and being by myself and like be the real me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Which
no, I feel you.
It's a growing pains, like, you know what I mean. Like it takes a lot of alone time, but also experiencing life out there. So
exactly. I like the guitar. I like the drawings on there.
Thank you.
Is that a Build This House reference?
It is a Build This House reference, yeah. I have a picture I could probably send you to put it in, but on the back side here.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of see old drawings.
Oh.
And it's a symbol for each song for Build This House, so it was like
really
cassette tape and the Canada Maple Leaf July 1st, a phone for Call Me Leslie, etc., and it has all the symbols for each song.
I bet I can guess what the fish one is.
Which one would that be?
Anguish.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
You got that one. My dad's always been very avid for me to express myself artistically, and just allowing me to be myself. So it's a safe space for me. I don't feel like I'm being judged.
That's good.
Like originally it was when I was making stuff that wasn't really me, kind of being someone I wasn't, or trying to be someone I wasn't. They were kind of like, they were concerned, and they were like, what are you doing? This isn't you. I'm so grateful for my family because they've been so welcoming for me to be myself as long as I'm doing what I truly want and being myself. Looking back, it was like, I didn't really like people telling me what to do, but I understand where they were coming from, like, putting me in piano lessons, putting me in dance lessons, putting me in theater, to just, like, bring out this gift that I have, which is multiple different things, right? And I understand where they're coming from. But it wasn't ever, like, you need to do this to be great or whatever. It wasn't a pressure. Like, I don't feel pressure anymore because I guess just as I've gotten older and I've kind of done my own thing versus, like, what they wanted me to do, which was, like, dance and theater and stuff, like, which I still appreciate that stuff, but now it's like I'm going my way with the stuff that I've learned. I guess they opened many doors for me, and I had to close a couple in order to truly find myself.
Do you think you'd still have taken an artistic path if you came from, like, a different background, or do you think it was a hereditary thing?
I've always had it in me where I've been creative. Like, even when I was 5, like, I had, like, imaginary YouTube channels I was creating and stuff. Like, I was always so fucking creative and making stuff up and in my own world, really. I've always been in my own world, which sometimes can be really isolating, but ever since I was a kid, I've always been so inspired creatively, just in so many different avenues that, I don't know, I feel like I've always wanted to be something, and then my parents and being in a family that encourages it only allowed me to feel safe to actually pursue that.
That's awesome.
So it was just like, it was just a layup. They were just laying me up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that kind of takes me into the next question. Do you believe, just like overall, any person on their own path, do you think that someone's destiny is like fate, it's predetermined, or it's by choice?
That's a real hard question, because I'm only 18, I don't know shit, but what I can say is, from my experience, it's like, everything that's happened has been my choice, But then looking back, I can say that all happened for a reason.
Right.
So in the moment, it's all on the fly, you believe, and looking back, it's like, wow, that actually worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
The way it all happened.
Exactly.
The pain, the hurt, the good, the bad, like it all. It's a hard question because it's like that's kind of the premise of the whole universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just like,
exactly.
I'm a fucking 18-year-old kid, bro. Like I don't know.
Yeah. No, this interview we're answering the universe's biggest
Universe, tell me about it.
Lando has the answers to the
I have the
universe.
answers. I am the guru. I am enlightened.
Do you wanna go on an adventure to a disclosed location?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. What's your favorite song right now?
It's gotta be Sunburn by Dominic Fike.
Yeah, that's valid.
Alright, so where are we at?
Milo Stomping Grounds, top
Yeah.
collegiate.
At the high school here.
4 years.
4 years.
Served my time.
You graduated high school? That's
Graduated.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, served your time is right. It's like a fucking prison.
It does look like a prison. Yeah.
How would you say going to school affected you artistically? Was it like a positive or a negative thing?
I actually wasn't really active in the arts programs here, which I kind of regret because, like, late on to this year, like my last graduating year, I started going to the art room and just chilling and jamming out with other artistic people, and I feel like I missed out a whole lot of just meeting new people that way. And even if they are just like in their painting or whatever, like, and I don't share that same discipline, I feel like I could have gained so much from hanging out with people more.
How did people like react when like you first came out doing music in grade 9?
Everyone was kind of cool with it. I mean, it was. I don't know. High school, like adjusting to high school was like a big thing too, because you meet so many different new people versus like elementary, where it's like you're in the same class with 20 kids.
Yeah,
You see each other every day. So high school was like a new level of like, oh, try to be cool, try to be cool. So I mean, that's what I was doing. I was just trying to be cool.
Was there any like adversity at all?
Yeah, there were people that were like just being negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a given.
If there was any adversity, how did you deal with that? How did you deal with that then and now?
I mean, it's always a little like you take a little personal,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like I've kind of learned more that people project their own insecurities on other people. So at the time, I was like really hurt, and I was pretty self-aware too at the time, but it hurt me a little more then versus I guess now I can sure I'll get hurt, but then I take a step back and be like, oh right, this person is just insecure about themselves and hurt, and so it's like I'm not gonna bother by retaliating or anything like that.
Right.
Like it's just that's not in my nature. Like I go on about my life. Like it's totally human and normal to like get hurt by that stuff. You know what I mean? But I think it's more about how you act about it.
What brought you back to music in that 2-year gap?
I like how you kind of say it. Like the 2-year gap was me not doing any music, but it was really me trying to find myself. Originally, when I started making music, it was kind of like me putting myself out there and trying to learn who I am, but through the validation of other people. And stuff happened where it felt like I was the only thing that was keeping me around, I guess. Like, it was real soul searching that 2 years, right? It was just like life kind of happened, you know, and it made me take a look at myself and really think about like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I making music for other people? Why am I making stuff that I don't think best represents me? Because I've always had a passion to create, but I feel like I was using that passion to portray myself as something I wasn't, and it was like I had kind of an awakening where it was, what am I doing? Like, I need to do it for me.
Do you think you'd be, if you didn't take those 2 years, do you think you'd be where you are right now in life? I guess musically and
Yeah.
as a person.
No, I have no idea. I think
there was so much. Like if we're just talking about music too, like just searching like what was my next direction, what was my next sound. Like I was literally like on the ball figuring out things like the next project, the next EP, what sound, etc. Like, and even just building my craft like behind the scenes or just like on my own. Like there was so much of that, and there was so much hesitation, there was so much confusion, and life was happening at the same time, and it was just like, wow, like there was just so much shit going on. It was like, fuck, I don't know what's going on. And I don't know, it kind of just all came around to, it all became one. My life and me creating was just one thing. You know, it didn't feel like two separate things or a hobby, you know, like a separate hobby. It was just one thing. Like I was using music to figure out my life, to figure out myself. Like I was learning who I was through doing it, you know.
That's awesome. Did you feel ready when you released Build This House?
Yeah, I felt like I said everything that I needed to say. And I was just ready to get that off my chest,
right.
You know, and just put it out there so I could like move on. Like it was real nice, like finishing it when I did and how I released it, etc. Like it all just worked out beautifully to the point where I was like, man, I'm so proud of this, and I said everything I needed to say. So let's get it out there. And I don't know. It felt like I could move on after that. That was the difference between after The World Is Yours, like the project before Build This House. It was like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? Because if I wasn't satisfied with what I made, it was just like I put something out. Like, what's next, bro? You know. Versus Build This House, it was like, okay, yeah, let's walk forward. It wasn't like, what's the next thing? It was just like, let me just walk through life and see what happens. Learning how to get this idea out on the screen. Take the thought and the feeling and embrace it, and then express it exactly how it needs to be expressed and wants to be expressed. That was it. Because it was like, I knew I needed to express it, but it was like, I don't know how to. So the whole thing, it was like, it was me learning how to express myself, but also learning how to actually do it at the same time. You know?
Do you have any advice for someone going through that right now, trying to figure that out?
Just start. It's about like just going with it and doing the best you can with what you have, you know.
Right.
And honestly, you can even embrace it and make it like, I don't know what I'm doing, so why not use that as fuel to like just figure it out, but also like use it as expression. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know how to record. My life's in shambles. So let's talk about it in a song. It's after, once you realize you turned it into something beautiful, you can look at it and be like, wow, I actually learned something from doing that.
All right, where are we at now?
The Exchange.
We're at the Exchange.
The venue to be at.
Yeah.
In Regina.
We've done lots of stuff here, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We have. Couple of shows, man.
Couple of shows. That's where we got our... I did my first show here, actually.
Yeah.
Resolution. That was like the first 168 interview, too.
Yeah, I was actually funny that you say that, because I was just watching your interview yesterday. It was like a blast in the past. It was like, it's crazy how much we've done with 168 in such little time.
It's wild. How's it feel to like reflect on it so far?
Makes me real proud, because it was like, the whole time it kind of just feels like you're going into something, like going into the unknown, not really knowing what the hell you're doing, but kind of just trusting the process and helping each other, just leaning on each other. Like, it's awesome, because it's like just thinking about a year from now, like what we can do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it just makes me hella optimistic about that.
Exactly. Where's like where do you kind of see the direction going as of now? Done a couple shows, done a lot of interviews.
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think more creative, like more involved with the creation of other people. Instead of just showcasing what Regina has to offer, actually like be producing stuff, like producing artist music or producing photo shoots or music videos or, you know, like creative directing.
Well, me, it's like I have so many different ways
of being creative and expressing myself. So I really wanted to be able to do so many things and put my name on it and put my stamp on it, but also like kind of make it a way for me to live, like be able to have like a company or whatever that just I can be able to do whatever I want and have it all under this one umbrella, because it's like, because when you're an artist like that makes music, it's like that's your persona. So like if you're over here making videos, it's like you're not really Lando anymore, you're a Lando Salazar making videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was it's just like a way for me to have an umbrella of everything I do under it, and also have people involved in it and be a part of this thing. You know what I mean? Like something bigger, so it's not just me, but it's also like, I guess, kind of a community. You know? I feel really free with it versus like your persona, and with artistry, it's like you're trying to be so mysterious and like be so like calculated with how you're releasing your stuff. And with this, it's like we'll just do whatever we want in the moment and take any opportunities we get, really, and do what we want.
Exactly. How do you hope to like affect the community when you have events?
Well, there's something about the Regina community, like music community, that's so wholesome. Like every show that I've been to is so wholesome, and everyone's just there to support each other and just have a good time, really. Like there's something about music that's just so beautiful that you can connect with so many different people. And it's so selfless in a sense. Like for me as an artist, I just feel so like selfish sometimes because I'm so wrapped up in my world. And throwing events and bringing all these other artists together, it's like making up for that selfishness. It's like I'm bringing all these different people together, and we're all just having a great time together and like feeding off each other, so we're like supporting each other. So it's like, how can you be selfish in that environment? It's like everyone's so wholesome, beautiful. Like, I guess to answer your question, it's like really just to have an amazing time in Regina for the community. Like obviously we have ambitions to go way fucking higher, you know, than Regina, and it's like, yeah, like I think if we focus in here, it's like, and do the best we can, why not branch out?
Exactly.
Like if we do the best let's do the best we can here, and then like just go from there. Like let's make sure like at our core we're like secure.
When you first came up with the idea, has your original vision for it, I assume it has changed over time, but like how so?
I feel like it's become less about me and more about other people. Like for the longest time, I was so like wrapped up in my own idea. Like this is what I want to do with it, and it's how I want it to affect me. But now it's like I have the opportunity to bring so many people into this thing. Having you on board, having like Dash on board, or just bringing other artists into this and giving opportunity, it's made me be less selfish. Even though like this was my idea, it's like, fuck, I don't want it to be only my idea anymore. Like I want other people involved, and I want people to like have the opportunity to like have the time of their life. Like giving people like their first show opportunity. Like thinking about my first show, it's like that was like mind blown, world blown. So it's like, if I could do that for so many different artists in Regina, it's like, how great does that make us feel? You know what I mean?
It's a great feeling. What's kind of your mindset going into performing?
Like in the past, or you mean like now?
Like, do you see it as like an extension of your artistry, or just like?
I feel like that's where it all ties in. Like doing live stuff, it's like there's nothing more pure than that. Like you're in front of the crowd, you're not hidden away. Like you're so vulnerable in that moment, and it's like you can either flourish or you can crumble in that moment. And I feel like I've been so mentally prepared, I guess. Like obviously I was terrified and scared, and it was a new feeling, but it was like that was everything I was ever preparing for ever since I started like making music. Like
what's your take on fear? How do you view it?
I mean, we're all scared in our own ways, but I saw a thing on Instagram where it was like it was like a chart, and it was like the fear before you start, and it's like crazy, and then the fear after it just goes down. So literally just by pushing into it, even though it's so terrifying, by just starting and trying and doing it, it's just like the fear goes down.